Welcome to our show Hong Kong Brief. I'm your host, Jenny. Today, we're diving into the taxi turmoil in Hong Kong, where drivers are threatening to strike due to plummeting license values and fierce competition from ride-hailing services like Uber. The public is calling for better options, and it seems dialogue among stakeholders is the way forward to improve services and support those in need. In the stock market, Asia is showing mixed results as Chinese tech stocks face a downturn after a recent rally. With major players like Alibaba and Baidu reporting losses, the Hang Seng Index has taken a hit. Meanwhile, U.S. stocks are hitting record highs, creating an interesting contrast in the global market landscape. Lastly, exciting news from the world of sports. Ningbo, China, has been chosen to host the 2025 Volleyball Nations League finals, following impressive viewership numbers from events held in Hong Kong and Macau. With millions tuning in, this event is sure to bring even more attention to the sport in the region. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage. South China Morning Post highlights the urgent need for collaboration in Hong Kong's taxi industry, which is grappling with declining license values and fierce competition from ride-hailing services like Uber. Taxi drivers are threatening to strike unless the government addresses illegal ride-hailing operations, but a strike would only worsen the situation. Instead, a dialogue among the government, taxi operators, ride-hailing platforms, and the public is essential to find a sustainable solution. The value of taxi licenses has plummeted from a historic high, and a survey revealed that 45% of respondents found taxi services unsatisfactory. Public sentiment leans towards legalizing ride-hailing services, which are seen as more reliable and convenient. Personal experiences of overcharging and poor service further underline the need for reform, urging all stakeholders to come together for a fair regulatory framework that benefits everyone. In the realm of dining, a letter in the South China Morning Post calls for a revival of leisurely dining experiences in Hong Kong. The pandemic has shifted people's habits, leading to shorter restaurant hours and a hurried dining atmosphere that leaves patrons feeling rushed. Many high-end restaurants and cafes are closing their kitchens as early as 8:15 p.m., making it difficult for late arrivals, such as tourists, to enjoy a proper meal. The writer argues that if Hong Kong wishes to maintain its reputation as a city that never sleeps, it must encourage restaurants to extend their hours. This change would not only enhance the dining experience for locals and visitors alike, but also help attract more tourists who contribute to the local economy. The Associated Press reports on the mixed performance of Asian stocks, particularly highlighting the decline in Chinese technology stocks after a brief rally. The Hang Seng Index fell slightly, while other markets like the Shanghai Composite and South Korea's Kospi saw gains. Major tech companies such as Alibaba and Baidu reported drops in their stock prices, with Baidu facing a revenue decline amid growing competition in artificial intelligence. Despite the struggles in the Asian markets, U.S. stocks reached record highs, indicating a contrasting trend. In energy trading, crude oil prices experienced minor increases, and the U.S. dollar showed slight strength against the Japanese yen. Overall, the mixed performance of stocks reflects ongoing economic uncertainty in the region. South China Morning Post reports that Hong Kong stocks experienced a decline as the tech rally faltered, primarily due to losses in major companies like Alibaba and Baidu. The Hang Seng Index dipped by 0.5% to 22,862.15, while the Hang Seng Tech Index fell by 0.3%. Baidu's revenue drop of 2% year-on-year in the fourth quarter led to a 3.1% decrease in its stock price, while Alibaba retreated from its three-year high, losing 1.9%. Despite a significant rise of over 20% in tech stocks since January, analysts noted that the market's momentum appeared overstretched, prompting concerns of a potential pullback. Other Asian markets showed mixed results, with Japan's Nikkei 225 and Australia's S&P ASX 200 both losing ground, while South Korea's Kospi saw a notable advance. According to Reuters Breaking Views, India's banking sector is experiencing a remarkable surge, with Kotak emerging as a leading stock underwriter globally in 2024. The country witnessed a record $71 billion in equity fundraising, surpassing China and Hong Kong to become the second-largest destination for share placements after the US. The boom has been fueled by new economy companies going public, generating substantial fees for banks like Kotak and ICICI Bank. However, the outlook is tempered by foreign investors pulling out of Indian shares and disappointing earnings reports, leading to a decline in stock indices. Despite a strong IPO pipeline, including potential massive listings like Reliance Industries' telecommunications business, the broader environment remains challenging as global markets begin to recover. The South China Morning Post highlights the precarious situation of Hong Kong's Democratic Party, which is contemplating disbandment amid dwindling influence and representation. Once the dominant force in the city's opposition, the party faces significant challenges following the imposition of electoral reforms by Beijing in 2021, which barred them from holding seats in the Legislative Council or district councils. Founded in 1994, the Democratic Party has seen its fortunes decline sharply, particularly after the national security law was enacted in 2020, leading to severe repercussions for its former lawmakers. As speculation grows about its future, the party plans to hold a press conference to discuss its position and suggestions for the upcoming government budget, coinciding with the recent suspension of activities by other civil organizations in Hong Kong, signaling a broader trend of diminishing political space. South China Morning Post reports that Frederick Ma Sihang, the former commerce minister and ex-chairman of the MTR Corporation, is set to lead the Hong Kong Trade Development Council as the city seeks to diversify its markets and establish new business partnerships. This transition follows the departure of Peter Lam Kinmock, who will take over the Hong Kong Tourism Board. This leadership change is part of a broader government strategy aimed at revitalizing the economy, particularly in the commerce and tourism sectors. Ma brings a wealth of experience, having served on the International Advisory Council of the China Investment Corporation and currently holding a position at FWD Group, which is expanding in Southeast Asia. In another feature, the South China Morning Post highlights Richard Mill's latest horological masterpiece, the RM16-02 automatic winding extra flat, which draws inspiration from the brutalist architectural style. This timepiece is not just a watch, but a work of art that showcases intricate engineering and modern aesthetics. The design is characterized by its ultra-flat case and a mesmerizing maze of components visible through its sapphire crystal, inviting the wearer to get lost in its complexity. The watch is available in both Grade 5 titanium and a striking terracotta quartz TPT, appealing to both traditional and adventurous watch enthusiasts alike. Lastly, the South China Morning Post discusses Roche's innovative approach to proactive healthcare amidst an evolving global landscape. The company emphasizes the importance of integrating diagnostics into healthcare systems to shift the focus towards prevention rather than treatment. Lance Little, head of Roche Diagnostics Asia Pacific, advocates for early detection to improve patient outcomes, particularly in areas like neurology where diseases such as Alzheimer's are on the rise. Roche is committed to collaborating with local stakeholders to create culturally sensitive healthcare solutions, ensuring that advancements in diagnostics reach those who need them most. Through initiatives like the Hong Kong Women's Checkup Week, Roche aims to normalize preventive care and foster a more proactive healthcare environment in the region. South China Morning Post highlights the recent visit of Hong Kong Chief Executive John Lee Ka-chiu to Harbin during the Asian Winter Games, where he was inspired by the city's unique integration of sports and cultural tourism. Harbin's long-standing reputation as China's ice city is built on its rich history of ice and snow activities, exemplified by the annual Ice and Snow Sculpture Festival and the Harbin Ice and Snow World, which attracts millions of visitors. The article emphasizes that Hong Kong should learn from Harbin's success by focusing on its own unique qualities and heritage, rather than solely relying on mega events and attractions like pandas to draw tourists. By preserving its colonial architecture and promoting its distinct cuisine, Hong Kong can carve out its own identity that resonates with visitors. In another report, the South China Morning Post discusses Hong Kong's strategic focus on tokenization and stable coins as it aims to strengthen its Web3 industry ahead of the major consensus conference. Financial Services Secretary Christopher Hui Qingyu emphasized that tokenization is a transformative trend that could reshape traditional financial markets. With the Securities and Futures Commission outlining requirements for tokenized investment products, local companies are rapidly adopting this trend, including HSBC's launch of a tokenized gold product. The city's government is also working on regulating stablecoins to facilitate cross-border payments and digital commerce. However, Hong Kong faces fierce competition from the US, which has been positioning itself as a global crypto leader under President Trump's administration. Reuters Breaking Views examines the growing trend of capping board tenure in the corporate world, particularly in the US, where long-serving directors are increasingly being scrutinized by activist investors. With two-thirds of activist campaigns targeting companies with directors who have served for a decade or more, the article argues that entrenched boards can lead to stagnation and poor decision-making. Examples like Vail Resorts and Matthews International illustrate the pressure these companies face as their stock prices suffer. While some companies resist imposing tenure limits, research suggests that boards with shorter tenures tend to make better investment decisions. The piece advocates for mandated turnover to encourage fresh perspectives and reduce the influence of long-serving directors, ultimately benefiting shareholder interests and countering activist challenges. South China Morning Post reports that a recent global study by SIA has crowned DBS Bank's mobile app in Singapore as the best-performing banking app in Asia, achieving an impressive score of 69 and ranking 11th worldwide. Following closely behind are HSBC's Hong Kong app and Ping An Pocket Bank from mainland China, both tied with a score of 67 and ranking 16th globally. The study evaluated 140 apps across 22 markets based on 95 criteria, highlighting that while traditional banks excel in functionality, digital banks like Mox and Trust are leading in user experience. However, no Asian bank made it into the global top 10, with European digital banks showing superior integration of partner services within their apps. In another article, the South China Morning Post discusses Hong Kong's newly proposed citywide recycling scheme for plastic beverage containers, which has faced backlash from environmentalists and the public. The scheme, aiming to encourage recycling through a rebate of 10 Hong Kong dollar cents per container, lacks a clear implementation timeline and sufficient financial incentives, with critics arguing that the rebate is too low to motivate public participation. Environmental groups have called for more ambitious recycling targets, citing successful examples from other countries. Some residents have expressed concerns about the accessibility of recycling points, emphasizing the need for better public education to foster a culture of recycling. Finally, the South China Morning Post highlights a fashionable shift as female celebrities embrace ties as a wardrobe staple, breaking traditional gender norms. From Selena Gomez to Zendaya, these fashion icons have made ties a trendy accessory, showcasing them on various occasions and runways. Notable moments include Hailey Bieber and Elle Fanning donning slouchy suits paired with ties, while Zendaya sported a stylish ensemble at Wimbledon. This resurgence of ties for women not only reflects evolving fashion trends, but also draws inspiration from iconic figures like Diane Keaton and Princess Diana, suggesting that ties are no longer just a male accessory but a symbol of empowerment for women in fashion. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Morning sunlight on the street, city whispers soft and sweet, faces mix in daily grind, every story intertwined, cultures blend like colors bright, languages in the silent night, on the table stories told, food and feast upon so bold, people living day by day, in the heart they find their way, sharing moments, voices sing, in this world of everything. Society in rhythms beat, entertainment's fleeting heat, echoes of wars and fears, laughing through our unseen tears, children playing in the park, drawing dreams till after dark, elders speak of days gone by, washing shadows from the sky. People living day by day, in the heart they find their way, sharing moments, voices sing, in this world of everything. Society